What's going on, guys? Just a disclaimer, this is for watching. In the background there's going to be a blank screen with a couple imagery. We're doing a podcast, one of our first podcasts on this channel. We're going to be trying to do them quite regularly, whether it's via Skype or if my buddy here, Thomas, is at my house.
Yep.
But first things first, this video is sponsored and brought to you by our other main channel where we both post, which it's actually a community channel, so if you guys want to post, definitely let me know. I can put up a video on how. So, yeah. It's the Smidwinders image should be on screen now. Click it. The link, if you're on a computer, will bring you to our channel. And if you're on phone or mobile or any other device, it'll be in the description
Below.
So basically, we're just going to be talking about whatever stuff, random stuff. And Thomas, why don't you take it off? Introduce yourself.
Alright, well, I am Thomas, sometimes known as Jugs. Don't ask. I post on YouTube sometimes. A lot, actually, compared to how I used to be. And, yeah.
So, we tried starting up a Q&A, but no one really replied.
You don't love me.
So definitely check out the Twitter so you guys can know when we're about to start a podcast, because the Q&As will always come with the podcast. And also, Thomas, aren't you thinking about making your own personal channel soon?
Possibly.
So if he makes his own personal channel, we'll be definitely working together, a lot of collaborations. So yeah. So we're going to be asking each other some pretty common questions. My first common question, just to get this going right away, is what is your thoughts on marijuana being legal? I know we're young anyway if it's legal, but still we're old enough to have opinions. My opinion is that it's way better for you than nicotine and alcohol and everything, cigarettes. So I believe that it really should be legal if cigarettes are able to be legal. Honestly, I think that it should be the other way around. Cigarettes are illegal and marijuana is legal.
You see, they could do that, but the problem with making cigarettes illegal is now it's become such a big thing that so many people they smoke, and now it would just probably cause, riots.
Yeah, but what I was saying is that, instead of making, because pot's always been around, I think.
Right.
Can't remember if that was pot or tobacco. I think it was just both. It's always been around, but one of them got legalized and the other one didn't. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Do not be afraid to bring that out. But
we make a lot of mistakes.
Yeah, plus this is an unedited podcast, so we're going to be definitely just speaking from the mind, whether it's right, not fact-checked, because we don't really have the time to do that. So, yeah, I think it should have been marijuana that was legalized, not nicotine or tobacco, I should say. And, yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
I agree with you. I'd say marijuana could be legalized. It's just they would, like they've been talking about, in moderation. You don't want to be having a baby dose, I use that word lightly, every day, multiple times a day.
Yeah. I think that the medical marijuana is actually a good thing, that, that should be around. I heard some places still don't even have that legalized.
People with cancer have to go to different states and stuff just to get it, and then they can't even bring it back to their home state.
Yeah, so I definitely think it's definitely should be, at least medical marijuana definitely should be, it should be, I think, maybe part of the law that it should be legal or something like that. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, did you have a question ready?
Or
how about this? What do you think on America's education system?
Well, I mean, it varies very widely because of it's just people making dumb and smart decisions, like keeping old teachers who are really, really, really mean, if you know who I'm talking about, and everybody seems to adore them for some reason, and then buying things that you don't need for your school when you could be actually buying good things.
I agree on that to an extent. I believe that if they can keep old teachers, if they can adapt, but the thing is, old teachers stay to their ways, and the curriculum's always changing every year, changes just a bit, and they don't adapt to that, and so it makes it harder on the students because when they're used to something in the other classroom, that completely changes when it gets to their class. And I'm sorry about that. I saw a video on Drifter's channel. Some of you guys might know that because this is a gaming channel, so you're here for gaming. He's a big COD gamer. And basically, he said it was if he were president video. And so he says that he would, for the education system in America, he would put standardized testing to the, to the back burner, let it, we don't need it anymore. Because instead of learning skills, you learn how to get ready for the standardized test. Like our ITBS that we took like a month ago. All year
testing basic standards.
Yeah. All year we've been preparing for that, preparing. Like at least once a week before that test, we were getting told, you got to use this for your ITABs or your ITBS.
And half the stuff we don't even use.
Yeah, it's like half the stuff that they tell us that's not even on the test. So I would take standardized testing away and maybe do district testing, like just a little, not as much testing. It shouldn't be all graded on test scores. Of course there is going to be test scores, but it should be graded on the student's skill of that thing, like
individual topics.
Yeah, individual topics. Like the Pythagorean theorem or algebra. Some of the algebra we don't spend nearly enough time on because there's so little time in between the time that we need to skip to geometry, and then once we're not even quarter into geometry, we got the standardized test, so that once you're struggling on a topic, you can't stay on that topic because you got to skip to be able to prepare with the other skills for the standardized test.
Like, one thing I want to say is I'm on step with you with everything that you're saying so far. And another thing I want to add is standardized testing shouldn't just be for the students. They need to have it for the teachers too, because some teachers, like you said earlier, they're not adapting. And if they don't adapt, they can't change how they're teaching or something. So
I guess in a way you can have some sort of standardized test, but I think one standardized test that should be implemented and should stay, even if normal student standardized testing leaves, is teacher-student standardized testing, as you said. But it's to make sure that you're adapting with the new curriculum and everything. It's like if you score under a 75%, you're not eligible to teach in that curriculum anymore. You got to move a grade or you lose your job or something.
Right. Maybe not lose your job, but you're going to have to take a week off and study for that test and then
it's back. Like they're not going to let you teach until you pass that, because it makes it, again, like I said earlier, it makes it really difficult on the student when you're trying to learn something and the teacher's stuck in his old ways that has been proven not to work anymore.
Right.
Things change for a reason. They don't change in the spur of the moment just because they felt like it.
Like when teachers move on from topic to topic to topic just because they feel like it, and they say that's how you got to do it. When you're preparing 3/4 of a year, it seems like a long time, but it's really not, because if you get stuck on one thing, you're taking off part of the railroad line. You're off the rails a little bit.
It's like a Jenga tower.
Yeah.
You're spending all this time building up the Jenga tower, and then you fall behind and you make that wrong move, and that whole thing can fall apart.
Like with scatter plots, I'm normally okay with it. It's just y-intercept and the equation. Slope I'm okay with. That's just rise over run most of the time, but just the equation. And then when I asked him for help, the teachers always say, ask your teachers for help. Then when I asked them for help,
and they get mad.
Right. Saying you should have paid attention.
Sometimes students do need a little bit more of a one-on-one. I'm even putting a math AP because I'm not very good at math, so I get a little extra help. And I'm putting there because of my actually standardized testing scores. But there's one thing I have to say about that is that I actually pretty much BS'd the whole way through last year. I regret that because I didn't realize how much that can really affect my career, but now I'm pretty sure I got it back on track. I paid attention this year. I didn't BS my way through the ITBS or the Iowa assessment, whatever you guys call it. We're used to calling it ITBS or ITEBS. And so yeah, and it's just like you spend all this time preparing and not enough time actually learning.
And things like how I said with asking the teacher and all that, a lot of that stuff is a lot harder based off how the teacher views you. If he or she views you as one of the lower kids of the class that's always struggling, that's always having difficulty, he or she, sorry, I'm gonna say he a lot, but he or she is gonna react differently than someone if that answers the questions a lot. Even if they don't get it right, they still at least put the answers out there on 90% of the class that's just sitting there silent.
Yeah. So most of the time I'm sitting there silent because it takes me a minute to be able to grasp what he has just asked and what's going on. But once he gives me that minute when the class is just silent, I can usually answer the question, but I'm usually not there in time. Yeah. Another thing that I really hate is kids that have to push their way on top. They have to make sure they're knowing. I'm pretty sure she still watches my channel. If you do, you know who you are. Maybe not. But there's this one girl in my math class, which I don't really have a problem with it. It doesn't bother me that much. I just notice it. Is that my buddy, I'm not going to say his name due to privacy purposes, confidential purposes. He sits right next to me on the right of me.
Whining purposes.
What?
Whining purposes.
Yeah. But, and he's really good at math. He's just a whiz at it. And I think the only reason why he's not in honors is because maybe he slipped up on the test. He just didn't do as good. He was tired. Something happened. But he's a whiz at math. And he's getting the answers like that, right away. And there's this other girl that also gets the answers like that right away, but he's a little bit faster. And when he raises his hand and is halfway done saying his thing and it's all correct, the girl would say the same thing really loud, and she sits in the back of the classroom, so she has to talk even louder. And and I sit in kind of the back, so it's right in my ear. I hear everything. And I'm right in that section where whatever's said in the front, whatever's said in the back, you can hear everything. And shut up. So, and once everything's, once he's saying his thing, you just hear this voice, and that's hers. Just, she stands up too, and she stands up and just start, pretty much yelling the answer like she's preaching. And it doesn't really bother me because it still is the answer. It gets us through class, I guess. But it's just honestly, guys, if you didn't get called on, or if you're not getting talked to, don't try to push yourself in there. Try to wait for your something, or wait till they're done with their conversation. Such as my little bro. He's just like my older brother. And this is a problem that bugs me, and it's nothing I can change. It's just his personality. And me and my mom, we were talking. She got me a new shirt, and she's like, "Oh man, I like your new shirt." And I'm like, "Yeah, I really like my new shirt." And I was gonna go on. It's it's really comfy. Right before I said that, he butts in. It's like, "I'm wearing my new shirt. I like my shirt." And he had to be in the conversation. So basically, if you're one of those type of people, try to catch yourself. Try to think about it, because you might deny it right away. You might not know it, but try to catch yourself doing it. Try to think about yourself doing it. And wait till there's a steady moment in the conversation where it just kind of stopped for a bit, so you guys can get actually into the conversation. That's basically my recommendation. Plus people will like you a lot more, because that's very annoying when you're trying to talk and someone just butts in your conversation. So, you mentioned someone whining. Now we're going on a crybaby tear.
Oh boy, yes, I want to talk about this. This is something that it's a parasite, let's say. He or she is always trying to be on top of everything, just like my buddy here said, but different person this time. So he's competitive. or she, but it's a he. Let's just go with that. He's a he. He wants to be top of everything. He wants to be better than everyone, but sometimes he's just absolutely terrible at the thing he's trying to be better at. And when he is terrible at it, he still does it anyway. And if people back off because they don't want to like hurt his feelings or they don't want to hurt him or something, depending on the activity, he just says, well, you're just scared of me. Because, yeah. So, it's been a constant problem. And then when he finds something that he is better than someone at, it's his conversation at all times. Just referencing to it. Hey, remember when I beat you? Remember this? Remember that? All this. And, I guess the moral of the story is, if you are better than someone at something, don't bring it up unless they bring it up. And if they do bring it up, don't rub it in their face. Just laugh about it and move on. Yes, you won something. You're gonna win a lot. Possibly. Depending on who you are. This person, probably not that much.
So now that we got the story out of the way, what really bothers you, and like go into detail on what bothers you on like an everyday basis, because I know you see him every day.
Every day.
You know, what ticks you, what do you think he can do to make it better? You know, we got time. Let's go in depth.
Right. Alright, well.
Now we got the story, so we explain the situation, so this is where we're kind of breaking it down.
Right. So, one thing I want to talk about is, like you said, how he can get better. He can learn to shut up. And
Definitely.
This isn't a Disney movie, alright? We're gonna tell you straight up how it is.
But it is rated PG. No cussing.
Right. So, like, you just gotta learn to shut up, because he'll go on and on and on about the same thing. Find something else to move on to, or talk to someone else, because I'm tired of listening to it. And I know he's kind of a fanboy over you, as we found out recently. Not very recently, but...
Long time ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, he could just learn to become more independent, and he chooses the worst times to be independent. Because when we argue with him, when we tell him to go away, when we tell him to shut up, he gets all defensive and says, no, I'm standing up for myself right now. Nope. Do something about it.
Agreed. I hate it when people are all talk, but when it rises to the occasion, they back out. So, how does this really tick you? Like, explain how bad this makes you feel on it. Like, all the individual things that he does, because there's lots of things that tick us both off. But, you know, there's some things that don't tick me off, that ticks you off, vice versa. You know, again, we got time. Let's get really in-depth in this.
It doesn't exactly tick me off. It more entertains me, honestly, to see how a person with that much confidence has so little confidence at the same exact time.
Mm-hmm.
So he's so confident in his word that when it comes to the occasion, he feels he's said enough to say, you know what, I don't even have to do this because I've already said enough that I've already done it, basically, when he hasn't.
Yes. This is definitely a huge problem where people are trying to be able to like become top dog, you know, people that doesn't know their place is the better word for it, you know. When you don't know your place, try to learn your place. Like when you get to a new school, you know, obviously you're not going to know your placement, and when in the first week, you know, you're going to see how people are reacting to you. You know, first of all,
the right and the wrong people.
Yeah, I've never moved, so I can't really tell you this from experience, but I can just tell you this for general advice. You know, it's very stereotypical, you know, you got to get out there, you got to start talking to people, and that's how you see what kind of group you're classed in. You know, if you get taken very kindly by the popular kids, you know, when first day of school, you can see who's the popular kids and who's not and who's the middle.
Just by how they're acting.
Yeah, just by how they're acting. Basically also how they look, honestly.
If they lip off to the teacher and everything, you know they're probably a popular kid.
Yeah. So basically, see how everybody reacts to you, and whatever group reacts to you the kindest, that's your place. You know,
Right.
whether it's the least popular, don't get
I
too
mean-
upset when it's the least popular because it's still your group.
Right.
I'm sure, like, you can make some of your bestest friends right there.
You still might want to stay away from the potheads, though.
Yeah.
Just saying. And I want to put this out there because I realize we haven't really said it yet. This isn't bullying or anything like that. This is
Real talk. We're being down to earth with you guys. We're complaining, but we're not attacking any individual person. We're like, I guess, attacking people in general, or not really attacking. We're just telling, what's up, and what you can do to kind of fix it.
And the people we did pick out kind of individually without saying their names, we've talked to them about this before, some of them.
Yeah, and some of them don't take it too kindly, such as the latest story.
Yeah. That's when he says, "See, I'm defending myself."
Oh, yeah. And also, I got a story about him. Again, still not going to name any names, but out of my group of friends, I am, for some reason, ever since I started playing with him on Xbox, I have become top dog. So,
because you're the only person he listens to. Let's call him Timmy. How about that?
Yeah, Timmy.
Just so we can say a name.
So Timmy, was okay with me being top dog. He respected me. But then he decided that his power, his place, was not good enough for him. So he tried fighting the power. Fight the system, fight the power, overtake the system. You become the power.
You don't fight a system that you respect, though. That's kind of weird.
It's like he loses respects at certain times and then gains it back for no reason. It's not like I do something, like stupid where I deserve to lose respect.
It's just random. And he expects to be able to retort against the power, but still be able to keep his place in the power if he fails.
Yeah, or gain the power.
Right.
And he tried attacking me one day. And this was over...
Not physically.
A simple video that I posted. I'm not going to mention it just because it might reveal something I don't know somehow.
It could be connected to a couple different videos because I know his name's been said in some of mine.
Somehow, some way,
Creepy people.
Creepy people find if there's a will, there's a way. And that's truly a true statement, especially with computers. There's a will, there's a way. And this was over one video, and he started crying. It's like we were all having a good day. We were all playing Minecraft. I remember what game I was making a currency server. If you don't know what currency servers, go look it up. They're really fun to build. But I'm getting off topic, so let me get back on topic.
Yeah.
So we were building a currency world, brand new, and then out of nowhere, he just started getting lippy, started getting mad. I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, you. I'm like, what did I do? I'm like, I did nothing to you. And of course, some harsh words were said because when I stand up to myself, I stand up for myself. I'm not going to do some lazy one. Sit down, Thomas.
Oh. I stood up for myself.
But, seriously, we need to keep focused. The more you do that, the more you distract me.
Sorry.
So, and he's tried retorting. He's like, the only reason why I have friends is because I threaten people, that I am intimidating. Thomas, am I intimidating? We've been friends for the longest time.
I believe longer than most people in our group of friends. And I think I kind of encountered you first, and then that kind of ended badly. But then, but that was because I barely knew you, and then we,
And I remember in 2nd grade, I didn't really talk to you much. I was like, I don't remember exactly, but...
I think we were in the same 2nd grade class, weren't we?
Yeah, we were. We were in Miss Schnorr's.
Mm-hmm. Good teacher, nice lady.
Oh, yeah, she was wonderful. She used to walk down here with her husband.
Cool. Alright, we're getting off topic.
This is just our problem.
But, Kane is probably,
And, I'm like, I tower over him. I'm sorry, but you're short compared to me. I'm almost 6 foot, and I'm 14.
Well, I'm 5'6", so not too much.
I'm 5'11".
Oh, well, a lot of people are 5'11". Sebastian's 5'11", Nick's 5'11".
Oh, well then, I'm not 5'11", then I might be just 6 foot.
But,
I'm 70 inches, whatever it is, last time I was measured, because I'm taller than them by a noticeable amount.
We're getting off topic again.
Alright, sorry.
So,
but, he was intimidated by me for a little bit, just because I didn't talk to him. And I think you came pretty near the end of the year. It's like...
Kind of.
You kind of just
It was
showed
mainly
up.
when you invited me to your birthday party.
Yeah, and that was like in 4th grade. I don't even remember what really started. I think it was when you invited the whole class to your incredible pizza birthday.
Mm.
You know,
When,
it's like
3 people showed up.
no, there's way more than 3.
I know. I was like, whatever it's called.
I just thought you were being serious. I'm like, I don't remember that. But so then I invited him to mine, you know, just kind of repaying the favor. And since then, we've been great friends. You know, we haven't really been like in 6th grade. We were like inseparable. It was every other weekend. You know, now
We've kind of matured and
we matured, and now it's like we both
busy.
enjoy. We're busy. We both enjoy our own space. You know, whatever. But he seems to be the only one that's intimidated by me, and this whole group of about
not me, the Timmy.
Yeah, Timmy.
Right.
About 11 people that were all our friends all said, I'm like, hey guys, do I intimidate you? And that's the only reason why you're my friend? And everyone's like, nope. It's like, William, you're wrong on this one. And that's when things hit the fan. And I don't really remember details, and some details I can't tell because it got gruesome. I'll tell you that. Words were thrown that cannot be repeated.
And what I was gonna say is, Kane, you tell people straight up, and I think that's probably one of your best qualities. Is most people would find it disrespectful, but I think it's kind of respect when instead of just softening it when you tell someone like their flaws, you actually just
it's like,
tell
here's
them
how you
straight
know
up.
that I respect you. I will correct you to make sure that you don't look like a fool. I'll basically treat you as like sort of my child, you know. It's like sort of like you're my property. I don't want you going around, you know, showing like because basically how when you act as a child, you're reflecting your parents. You know, when you're sitting there going out trying to be all thug, you know, that people think it's like, dude, their parents must be horrible. You know, and, you know, when I hang out with my group of friends, you know, I don't want to look like the tard that hangs out with tards. So, and basically, if I respect you, I tell you straight up. If I don't, I'll sugarcoat it. Right. That's how, once you see me sugarcoating something to somebody, you know I have little to no respect for them.
And, Kane was the first person to tell me I'm a grammar Nazi, and he's still the only person that does. And
yeah, you're horrible.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but you're horrible. No, you're not a grammar Nazi. You're freaking grammar Hitler.
Oh, what was that? Anyway,
you kill innocent texts.
Yeah,
I'm serious. If I posted my text log, you'd see so many corrections. It's ridiculous.
Anyway, and you were also the first person to make me realize that I just should start admitting I'm a huge hypocrite too. And I admit it straight up. I'll tell someone, don't chew really loudly even if your mouth is closed. Because there are those people that are just like...
Mm-hmm. It's like they open up their mouth, but they try to do it so little. It's like, honestly, you need to try chewing with your mouth.
Sounds like
It's freaking disgusting, honestly. I find I won't eat with you or sit with you if you chew with your mouth open. That is my biggest pet peeve. Or when people drink like tards, like...
When I'm pigging out and I'm stuffing my face, I will like stuff my face to the
I can
max,
understand, like,
but my mouth will open
out
a little bit. So I mean, like,
and
it's
plus
still...
when you're picking out, you're usually alone too.
Right.
You know.
No, I pick out in public. I don't care who sees me.
Freaking buffet. When Thomas goes to a restaurant, he makes the buffet.
No, they have buffet specials for me.
The Thomas special, everything on the menu. Alright, so we're getting off topic. Alright. So what was our topic?
You talked about how you have little to no respect if you sugarcoat it for someone.
And what about you about that?
Mainly, I have kind of strict home. I'm not going to go into any more details except my stepmother is a witch. And luckily she doesn't know how to use the internet except Facebook. So...
I'll share this on Facebook and tag you.
No. Anyway, so she's outrageous, and like, I know if I say something to someone and they're the wrong kind of person and they can tell...
Hold up, I'm gonna have to stop you there. We're at 30 minutes. We're gonna try to shoot for an hour. It's time for a commercial break. Today's video, in case you forgot, was brought to you by the Smidwinders. That is our second channel that me and Thomas post on, and it's also a community channel. And what else was their sponsor? I forgot.
Us. Yeah.
Oh,
Jugs.
Yeah, us.
Jugs.
So, the Jugs and Kodiak.
Yeah.
Alright. So, now that we got that out of the way, continue.
Alright, so where was I?
You're at that your stepmom's a witch.
Alright, well,
Now you come from a
if I
strict
say
household.
the wrong thing to the wrong people and they go and tell their version of the truth, which is nowhere near the truth, to someone of authority, and that person of authority tells my parents before I can tell them what actually happened, even if I do get to tell them what actually happens, my stepmother takes over anyway and I have no word in it. I'm probably going to be grounded for like a month.
Yeah.
And that's the worst part about my stepmother, is she never sets a date for how long I'm grounded.
It's just when she feels like it.
When she feels like ungrounding me.
Then she forgets.
Yeah. She'll let me do it once, and then that's kind of how you know I'm ungrounded. Anyway, so, yeah.
Alright. So, back on to Timmy. What else bothers you about him?
I would probably say that when he's good at something, it's not really because he's actually good at it, it's because he's comparing himself to people like me who are terrible at video games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this out there for people who don't know me. You may have been on one of my other channels or whatever, you may know me, but I am terrible at most video games. And I might go on a little streak every now and then where I'm actually good at it, but that's for a little while until I play against one of my friends. Or Timmy.
Basically just me.
Right.
I wreck. I'm sorry.
Shrek! Why'd I do that? That was random. Anyway, so, yeah, he thinks he's boss for comparing himself to me. And then that's when I call on Kane here.
Yeah. So, basically, just to express our feelings, we got this. Hopefully it works. Let me turn up my sound. My phone just... That doesn't seem to work.
Gosh, dang it.
Oh, it kind of went. Just like... Well then.
That's not a bleep. It's supposed to be a censoring button.
I know.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Look for one on my phone.
No.
Yeah. Look.
No. Go away.
Okay, fine.
Alright, well, but, alright.
We're getting off topic.
Let's get in depth on that one, alright? This keeps us going for a little bit.
Alright, so what do you want to say about that?
Basically, I don't really have too much of an issue with that because
he spends most of his time on his 360 even though he has an Xbox One.
Yeah, his Xbox One is a dust magnet because it gets turned on like once every 3 days.
And even when we encounter him about that, he starts playing his Xbox One for a couple days in a row and then he goes back to 360 on and off.
Yes, and I find that very annoying because why have it? Honestly. You don't need it if you're not going to use it.
And he complains about one of my friends. He's a close friend. Not as close as Kane, but he's a pretty good friend. He's a giant, too. So, I've got a lot of giant friends. And he always talks about how this kid, let's call him James.
Is it Sandin?
Yes.
Alright.
And, so, Sandin, let's call him that now, Sandin, Timmy always talks about how Sandin is a big fanboy over me, which I can see it, but I mean I respect him still because I'm kind of a fanboy over both Kane and Sandin, so but that's how Timmy is a big hypocrite, and he'll deny that he's a hypocrite because well, this is how, I shouldn't say that's how, but now he's trying to copy Kane here because Kane here got one of his favorite systems, the PS3 back. Mm-hmm. And I would love to have a PS3. My dad has one, and he just doesn't use it, and he won't let me keep it. What?
Offer him a trade.
What?
Xbox for PS3. Plus PS3, PSN is free.
Did they make it free again? I thought it was still paid.
It's always been free on PlayStation 3, but it's forced PS Plus on PS4.
Cool.
That's why you have to pay.
I might actually do that.
Tell him, just give him a heads up. It's like, hey, would you be cool doing this? And I could let you borrow a few games. I'll play it that much.
So, back to the thing. So, Kane has the PS3.
It works.
Yes, it works. Anyway,
So we're gonna be using this. Oh, it has an ad?
I have that game.
Alright, well,
fine.
no, let's keep
Anyway,
talking so we can
so-
override the ad.
Timmy is talking about selling his Xbox One and his Xbox 360 to buy both a PS3 and a PS4. Which is shocking because of how much he was bagging on PlayStation just a couple months ago.
I know, doesn't that just you off?
Yes.
Alright, so we're gonna be using this for expressed feelings because I can't say it until I'm 18 because of my dad. I'm trying to convince him. You have to hold it.
And that's all.
You too. Always wanted to do that. Alright, we're getting distracted again. So basically this is our expressed feelings machine.
You, Timmy.
Alright. Let's get back on topic.
Woo.
So, Timmy, basically, we have a lot of complaints about him. I mean, seriously, he's like a complete wreck.
We've got Guy Talks and we've got Timmy Talk.
Yeah. If you guys don't know what guy talk is, we're going to give you a little insight on what it is. We're not going to reveal all our conversations.
It's just
guy talk.
personal. It's like
It's
guy
like-
to guy, being mature, somewhat.
No, talking about those booties and those boot. Love this thing. And,
You're gonna keep that, aren't you?
sitting there in the middle of school just... You too, Mr. Schlong.
Alright.
Alright, before I get carried away, I'm gonna put it away.
Yeah, put it away. It's probably a good idea.
Alright, so it's like he could be so much better and we wouldn't have so much complaints about it if he would just let us help him fix himself.
If he would man up and stop trying to brag about things that aren't really matterful.
Mm-hmm. So this turned into like an angry rant. Like my weekly rant.
Anyway.
Which is good, you know, we need to let off some steam, and hopefully if he watches this video, I'm actually hoping if he watches this, maybe it'll be an eye-opener. He'll have an epiphany. You know, I'm sure he'll
Probably
be...
not. He's probably just gonna complain about it more and
Yeah.
say it's bullying. But
tell our principal, Mr. Fox. So,
what does Mr. Fox say? Yeah.
So,
what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something and then you interrupted me.
you're the one who interrupted yourself! Jesus Christ, we probably lost 3 viewers just because you breathed.
What? Anyway, actually, I was gonna say something about the viewers. Oh yeah, if you're still with us, you're probably insane by now. And if you aren't still
maybe-
with us, but you're still listening because you're walking away from the phone in despair, you're probably still sane.
Or maybe you're just like in a context high, you know, we just open up your mind like, whoa,
This is high.
O's? I like SpaghettiOs.
I am high as.
Alright, we really need to stop. We should use this only for expressed emotion on hatred.
Of Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to other people, because I feel like we've been ranting on Timmy long enough. Maybe we'll return to him.
Yeah, maybe. There's just so
So
many
much.
things.
So much Timmy. Not enough time.
So what's been itching you lately about some people? Like the
Um,
types of people that you don't like that's at our school.
The types of people?
Yeah.
Well, there's this one kid. Now, I'm not trying to be racist here, but he's like the only black kid in our grade. Well, one of two. And he is just... He's stupid, alright? A lot of people in our grade are stupid. Because, like, it's a thing that normally happens. A lot of 8th graders end up, like, cussing around and everything. And it's just... I mean, it's not like you can deny it. Even my dad just guessed it the other day. People around your school are cussing, aren't they? I'm like, yeah. So, this kid, let's call him Jay-Z. Just because.
Let's call him Humari.
Humari, alright.
Yeah.
Humari, calamari.
Kalimajari.
Kalimajari. Alright, Kalimajari. That's gonna be the final name. Kalimajari. He's just like so loud. Like during art class, the teacher will be talking.
Yeah.
She says, "Wait for your questions till the end," and he goes, "Hey teacher, I got a question." And he doesn't even raise his hand, and she says, "Raise your hand and wait till I'm done." So he raises his hand and goes, "Hey teacher, I got a question." And he's just like, how do you get away with that? And then he's like cussing really loudly too.
That's the thing that I hate. It's like all of us good kids, it's the second we do something, we get in trouble.
We're judged by the other people.
You know, and also, then, when all those bad kids, they can do cussing, they can throw stuff across the room.
And they were always fighting in class.
No one will say a thing. God, that really makes me mad.
Mm-hmm. Then there's the people that... I don't even know how to begin to explain them. They're kind of preps, in a way, but they're also popular. Like, you'll just be talking to them, whether you want to or not.
And yes, I'm using my computer as a footstool.
They couldn't really guess that, but okay.
Well, too bad.
Okay.
Okay, Debbie. I'll be a Debbie Downer. Okay.
Anyway, so you'll just be talking to them,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll find one thing they think is funny, and it really itches you, whether you know it's not true or if it is true, but it still itches you for some reason that they just keep doing it over and over and over again. And they think it's funny, so they just keep doing it. Even after it loses its comicalness, they just keep doing it. The couple boys at school keep calling me Illuminati ever since, like, shut up, animals. Anyway, so, why does my ear pop? Anyway, so, like, I'm a diehard Harry Potter fan, not gonna lie. So I got the Deathly Hallows symbol on the back of my head, for, like, a haircut. And, people were stupid, and they realized, oh, look, it's a triangle. Illuminati. That's how they think. I swear. It's like their brains are circled on that one thing. So, but it's a lot different because the Illuminati is an oval with a line just in the eye. This is a circle that takes up a majority of the triangle, and it's a line down the whole middle. It's not just... It's not like... It's nowhere near the same. But they're still too doomed with it, so...
Wait, so what is it?
The Deathly Hallows.
And what do people think it is?
The Illuminati. I really hate you.
That's the theme music every time I hear in my head when I see him walking down the hallway.
What?
I'm serious. Like, legit.
When I'm walking down the hallway, that's what you hear?
Yeah, in my head, and when all I hear is this.
You want to know what I hear every time you're walking down the hallway and I see you?
Better not be fee-fi-fum-fum.
No.
Punch you in your tit. So, guys, now that I'm left alone, because he just kind of left the room, he had to go take Clog in the toilet. Clog in the toilet. The toilet.
Your phone doesn't react.
I know, it's annoying. No.
No, I have it typed up. I'm going to search.
What is it?
You'll see.
What is it? She's my cherry pie. That's right. Let's stop that before copyright hits us.
Hey.
Phone, you retarded. Phone, you retarded.
Is there a way to check how many viewers we have? Probably 0.
We haven't even posted the video yet.
Oh, I thought this was live.
You idiot. Alright, so seriously, we need to get on topic. Honestly.
So who bugs you?
Who bugs me? A lot of people. Is that an answer?
People bug me. That's it.
Oops. Yeah, I get very annoyed very easily just by almost anything anybody can do. You can annoy the crap out of me, so there's just too many things for me to rant on.
I'm just realizing that. Oh.
So, What else do you want to talk about?
Well, I feel like we've kind of bit the fuse on the. I couldn't think of anything better to say. Bit the fuse on the whole topic of like who we don't like.
Talk louder. Talk louder or get closer.
Okay, so I feel like we've kind of bit the fuse, like I said, and I don't know. What do you want to talk about now? We can talk about games. We can talk about anything. The world is ours.
So, any games you're excited for?
Black Ops 3 because I like the Black Ops campaign was great. Black Ops 2 multiplayer and zombies were great. I liked the Black Ops zombies, but I just liked Black Ops 2 zombies better mainly because it was the first zombies I really played. So
the first one you become very attached to.
Yep. Well, I played World at War first, but I didn't really remember it before I started playing Black Ops 2.
Well, you played it on the Wii, so you didn't really get the full experience.
I played Black Ops on the Wii, and I didn't play zombies on Black Ops. I played World at War on PlayStation 2, I think.
So, actually, you didn't really play World at War. It was a completely different game.
Yeah, I hate that they change it so much. I have World at War for the DS. That's nowhere near World at War for the PlayStation 2, nor is it anywhere near
the actual World at War game.
Right.
I actually really do want to play the PlayStation 2 version of World at War just so I can see what it is.
It's weird. It's like you start off immediately in, like, at D-Day. I don't know.
I know it's like all like everything. It's like know how the game, like Advanced Warfare on the Xbox One and the Xbox 360, there's a graphics difference. Of course, there's going to be a graphics difference PS2 to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, but there's like complete different HUD layouts. It's like the
complete different storyline.
Storyline? Well, yeah, it was a separation of the game. It had a different title. It was called the World of War or something else, like Front Lines.
Oh.
So, of course, they're going to have a different story. But, you would have figured that the graphics just would have been, like, more pixely, or maybe as plush as it was, because that was just the technology at the time. But, everything was changed. Like, the UI interface wasn't anywhere near the same. It was like Call of Duty 3, Call of Duty 2. But still, that game, I love World War, all Call of Duties made by Treyarch have always been my favorite. I'm not favoriting Treyarch, Infinity Ward's pretty good company, except for Ghost, Sledgehammer. They made it all right start. Hopefully they can, hopefully Advanced Warfare.
Advanced Warfare was their first game?
I thought they worked on MW2 and MW3. They never,
which were both kind of respectable.
They never produced a game. They worked on the MW2 campaign and basically produced the MW3 multiplayer, or the MW3 survival, not multiplayer. I'm sorry. That's what they did.
Another game I'm looking forward to is, and I'm gonna regret saying this, but Halo 5, because I'm not a big Halo fan, but Halo Reach, Halo 3 ODST, Halo 3, those were pretty good. I didn't like Halo 4 that much, though.
I'm definitely psyched for it just to see what's next in the storyline.
Right.
Just because I've been following the storyline since I was like 8 years old.
Never forget the 3 numbers, 117.
Mm-hmm. Sierra 117.
John 117. Spartan 117. Which one was it?
It's just John, then it's Spartan 117 or Sierra 117.
Whatever. I'm confusing because I've only played 2, 3, some of ODST, Reach,
2 was probably the best. Honestly, 2
was a lot of fun.
Remastered on the Xbox One, giving it a new life, pretty much. Same game, different. Oh my god, that game is beautiful. Just look up 1080p 60 FPS. Halo 2 Anniversary, because the game looks stunning. And it really put the life back in Halo 2. And Halo 2 was a phenomenal campaign. Great multiplayer. I'm always playing that multiplayer when I'm getting on Halo MCC.
So, we've both played a lot of Halo.
Oh, yeah.
What are some things you want in Halo 5 and don't want in Halo 5?
Well, some things that we've already seen from the beta that I want them to make a change again is that they changed the normal rocket launcher to more of a Panzerfaust. Or Panzerschreck from it looks like a Panzerschreck
from Black Ops 2?
No, from World at War. Like the big thing, the big green rocket launcher that had the little faceplate on it, but without the faceplate. And they changed so many guns. The battle rifle doesn't look anything like it did.
There was a flaw in the trailer. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like the first person view of Locke's trailer shows it says he's holding like a DMR, but he's actually holding a battle rifle. So anyway, finish. Sorry.
Thomas, remember, you gotta talk louder.
Yeah, sorry.
Always check over there because you can see how loud you're talking. Like look at the audio waves.
All right.
See, you're still way too quiet. Alright.
I'm playing around, sorry.
So, I want them to change that back because it's like out of, what, over 10 years of Halo, the rocket launchers always look the same. And this is the first installment that it looks weaker. Like when you saw someone pick up a rocket launcher, that thing was huge. You know, you can see that they held a rocket launcher or a Spartan laser. That was the only thing that did change. Spartan laser looks really weird. I'll have to show you a picture of it afterwards. But you know, you saw them when they had those deadly weapons, so you knew to be scared. You knew to take those guys out to take the weapon. But now it's really dinky. It's tiny. You know, it's not as threatening. You know, the big black two tubes rocket launcher is now a one tube, one barrel
Shrek launcher.
A one barrel, two triggers thing. You know, grip and a trigger. It's very plain.
And a lot of people would overlook these details. Like I don't really pay much attention to the rocket launchers, but that's because I don't use them often. But
when you're playing a game, you definitely, you know,
Right.
you acknowledge someone has it and you get a little nervous, don't you?
Yeah, and it's still nice to keep those details. Like, I don't think there's many details that carried over from, like, Combat Evolved all the way to Halo 4 so far that are the same.
Oh, yeah. Of course things will change, but nothing has changed.
Graphics-wise, but not that
Well, I mean, like,
drastically.
things have changed, like, the energy sword. You know, it went from a thick, solid pink to kind of a fluorescent
Blue.
purple more. It's more purple now in Halo
Oh.
2 Anniversary.
I've been playing a lot of Reach, so...
Yeah, it's pretty blue in Reach. It kind of kept its purple, or its pink. It was more purple in 4. Well, it actually looked really retarded in 4. I think just the way your guy held it made you feel like you were freaking about to shank yourself in the face. Because he's like holding it straight up in the air.
Yeah. That's another thing people would probably overlook.
I
They're just when you see
I always
someone
preferred
holding-
the Halo 2 how he holds it out in front of him
Mhm.
and not straight up. You know, I just thought that was always better.
Right. When you see someone holding an energy sword and they're kind of a higher level, and you think, man, they might actually be skilled with this thing. Like, I know in Halo...
Like me, I was going on a tear on you guys with the freaking
Yes.
sword.
And, like, in matchmaking for Reach, if someone's got evade and they've got an energy sword, you might be screwed over at that point.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Yeah. And, something I want... Now, Timmy from before is trying to convince me that the thruster pack in Halo 4 is the same as evade from Halo Reach. Nah. Argue with me if you want, but I
think
just
it's
say no.
definitely different. They're definitely two different things. Halo 4, all the movements have been nerfed.
Right.
It's like Halo Reach had them so perfect. It's like they lasted long, yes, but they did what they were supposed to do.
Right. And it wasn't like...
You know, there's nothing that was
Yeah.
terribly OP.
Right. I mean, evade was depending on what you used it.
But
with and
it
your
took a
skill.
pretty long charge up time, though. It's
Right.
like you got 2 uses out of it, and you were out of it for, like, I want to say 30 seconds, maybe.
Mhm.
So that's what made it balanced.
Right. So with Halo 5, I want to see some of my like favorite armor abilities come back, like evade.
Yeah. Alright, we're going to be coming up on a close because I don't want to make this too terribly long. We're coming up on an hour. And, basically, my computer, I don't want to sit there rendering all night for Sony Vegas. It shouldn't take too terribly long because it doesn't have any video to render, but it does have a lot of audio. And we can't just upload the raw audio clip.
Right. We're gonna need something in there.
Yeah, whether it's a black video or not. I might add a constant text. It's like, this is just a listen to or something. So anyway, guys, I thank you all for joining in. If you made it this far, definitely leave a comment. Leave what you want us to talk about in the next podcast. We're definitely going to try to do this more often. And if it works out, he's probably going to be moving down here, like closer to me. So maybe every Sunday he can come over, we can do this. Or we can do it via Skype, or however we figure it out. So anyway, guys, I want to thank you. Hopefully you have a nice night, have a nice day. And yeah, this has been our first podcast.
Mucho gracias.
Seagram 7 night. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the vodka. Blame it on the Henny. Blame it on the catch me dizzy. Alcohol. Blame it on the alcohol. On the Adderall and Red Bull. Like my name is Jojo.